Good morning. We are extremely pleased that you are here. It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree?
Yes.
You are knowing what you are wanting. You are enjoying the evolution of your own desire. You understand that this leading edge time-space reality in which you are focused is all about the birthing of your desire. You understand that there will always be a gap between where you are in terms of manifestation, in terms of vibrational alignment, and the most recent desires that you have given birth to. You get that? That's really important. That there will always be a new birthing of a new desire to which you are not quite yet in vibrational alignment with. You know that you are source energy in physical bodies. You know that you are vibration more than you are anything else. So as that non-physical energy, you projected it into this physical body, meaning that you are an extension of that source energy. And that source energy didn't stay somewhere else. That source energy came with you. You are an extension of that source energy. And that source energy is a vibrational frequency of non-resistance. In other words, it's what we call pure positive energy. Why did you, as non-physical energy, not continue to focus only in that non-physical realm? Why was there interest in focusing here? Because this is the leading edge. Because there is more variety. Because there is more to focus upon. And because you know that you are the leading edge of thought. We've come to remind you that since you are a vibrational being in a vibrational universe, that when you say yes to something, you activate a vibration, which means you are including it in your vibration, which means it's coming to you. And when you see something you do not want and you shout no at it, you activate the vibration of it, which means you include it in your vibration, which means law of attraction is also bringing it to you. So as you begin to realize that whatever you are giving your attention to, you are activating and therefore inviting, now you need some sense of how to go about creating a wonderful life other than just looking at the variety and weighing the pros and the cons of everything. Because when you become utterly objective, when you say, I want more money, but to be honest with you, I've never had enough, you are activating the vibration of both having the money and not having the money, and it really slows down the money. When you activate a vibration of I'd like wellness, but I've been sick, or I'd like wellness, but people around me are sick, or I'd like wellness, but there's sickness in my family, so I'll probably eventually get sick, or I'd like wellness, but everybody gets sick before they die, which isn't true. What happens is you activate contradictory vibration, which waters down your vibration, which means law of attraction is bringing you a diluted version of your desire, a version that is more in keeping with the balance of the vibrations that you are offering. So we want to reacquaint you with the guidance system that you were born with and help you to realize that in every moment you can feel the only thing that matters, which is your vibrational relationship with who you really are. And when you are in alignment, you feel wonderful. Can you imagine being a physical human, taking your raft or canoe down to the river's edge, setting it into the water, and then pointing it deliberately upstream, and then beginning to paddle very hard to make your way to your desired destination? And we say, turn it around. Turn it with the current. Go with the flow. And most humans say, oh, Abraham, that just seems lazy. And we ask, but how long can you keep this up? And you say, I don't know, but I'm sure willing to try to find out. And then you say, there are many others doing the same thing. And we really respect one another most when we fight against the current. We have monuments and plaques and all manner of rewards that we give each other because suffering is the measurement by which we reward one another. And we say, well, it just seems so much more natural to just go with the flow. And you say, oh, that just seems lazy. I've seen those who go with the flow. And even though they are thriving, even though their life seems better now, you just wait. When they die, they'll find out they should have been suffering in this human life. And we say, it is our promise to you that the flow has never been about struggle. When you line up with the energy of your source and you get into vibrational alignment with who you really are, you feel the true power of the universal source energy that is your legacy. It is your inheritance. It is the river on which you live. And as you reacquaint yourself with the emotional guidance system that is within you, as you begin to utilize your emotional guidance system in the way you knew you would when you made the decision to come forth into this physical body, as you reactivate within yourself the memory of who you really are, as you come into vibrational alignment with the way source feels about you, then you'll be in your canoe and you'll be floating with the current, and you can use your clever, creative, specific personality, intent to guide your life into all of the fabulous, satisfying nooks and crannies that are there for your discovery, for your creation. But when you use everything you've got to fight against the current, life never gets very good for you. And as you compare your life with others who are also fighting against the current, you don't get accurate feedback. You have no idea how good it could be when you are comparing your life with others who are also not going with the flow. When you in your body have an experience which causes you to ask for something more, in that asking for something more, the non-physical part of you becomes it immediately. The non-physical part of you becomes it immediately. That's why we write a book that says, ask and it is given. And we want to even add a further title to that. Not only when you ask, is it given, but when you ask, the vibrational non-physical part of you becomes what you're asking for. When your life experience causes you to give birth to this new desire, the non-physical part of you becomes it. So can you imagine how much has been expressed by you into what we like to call this vibrational escrow? So as your life experience causes you to contribute to this vibrational escrow again and again and again, this vibrational escrow becomes your future experience if you will but allow it to be. And the thing that most of our physical beings do not realize is that that vibrational escrow, that the non-physical part of you not only is providing for you, but has literally become, is the strongest vibration of you. It literally is your current. It becomes the current of your stream. And so it is always calling you toward it. That stream was flowing before you came forth into this physical body. And that stream is flowing now as a result of what you have been contributing in this physical body. And so as the stream that was you before you came into this body is now added to by the stream that you are contributing to as you are sifting through the contrast, there is this powerful stream of all of the desires that you in your physical and non-physical form have set forth. It is a powerful, wonderful stream. And when you go with the flow of that stream, you feel yourself carried on the current. That's what passion feels like. That's what love feels like. That's what joy feels like. When you let yourself go with your flow, you feel wonderful. And when you don't let yourself go with your flow, you feel frustration, you feel overwhelmment, you feel anger, you feel rage, you feel depression, you feel any manner of things. But it's not because there's another flow pulling you. It's because you are holding yourself in resistance to the flow. Jerry and Esther, with dear friends, went on a whitewater rafting trip yesterday. And as they were in the river, a very fast-moving river, it was very obvious to them that they could not have for any length of time survived an effort at going against that flow. In other words, they were going with the flow because the flow was so powerful in relationship to who they are. And we want to say to you that your flow is powerful in relationship to who you are also. And when you are little, before you have even decided to make the effort to paddle upstream, you just go with the current. You just go with the current, and it's a lovely ride. But over time and over generations, your society, your historical background, the people of your world have gotten better and better and better at going against the current. And so it doesn't sweep you into the direction of thriving in the way that it would if you just let go and go. In the moment that you turn in the direction of the current, the pressure is released and you begin feeling better right away. When you are standing in the absence of something that you want, and what you want is over here, and where you are is over here, we're wanting you to understand that you can't jump from over there to over there instantaneously. In this physical environment where there is this buffer of time, it takes some time for you to achieve vibrational alignment with that which you want. So if you are determined to be unhappy until you get there, you'll never ever get there. The moment that you turn in the direction of where you want to be, you will begin to feel the relative relief of no longer bucking the current. And just making peace with where you are will cause the current to take you right to the fulfillment of that which you are reaching for. We're wanting you to understand that if you will accept that you have this vibrational relationship, that you are leading edge God in physical form, having experiences which are causing you to go beyond that which you have been before. And that if you could relax and go with the flow, you would easily stay up with what life has caused you and that God force within you to become. And whether it's worry or love, whether it's joy or hate, it does not matter what the emotion is that you are feeling in every single instant. It is giving you vibrational feedback about your vibrational proximity to who you have become. And friends, the most important thing that we want you to hear from us today or ever is that you must stay up with that which life has caused you to become, or you will not feel good. You got to stay up to speed with what life has caused you to become. And when you do, you feel wonderful. Now, did we just say you've got to right now be everything that you've ever wanted to be? No. What we mean is you just got to be pointed in the direction of it, and the flow will take care of everything else. You just have to stop fighting the current. You just have to let go of your justification and your resentment and your resistance. You've got to stop beating the drum of what's gone wrong and just relax into the idea that everything goes well for you. And as you begin to do that, you'll begin going with the flow, and you'll begin to see the evidence of it immediately in your experience. If you will just continue to listen to the call of Source, if you will just continue to go in the direction of what gives you that sensation of relief, and that's the key factor. When you are reaching for the feeling of relief, you are always moving in the right direction. But when you are picking up the drumsticks and beating something that makes you feel worse, now you're going in the opposite direction. The more you're where you don't want to be, the more you launch rockets about what you do want, and the stronger the current becomes. And so that is the reason that the universe expands in the way that it does. Life causes you to bump up against things that cause you to say, not that, I want that, I want that, I prefer that, I like that. And every time you find something that you prefer, Source beats the vibrational drum of it and causes the current to flow. And as that current flows and you relax and allow yourself to go with the stream, you know what? You have to thrive. Everything that you ever live that does not feel good to you is because of your orientation in moving upstream. It's your orientation about beating the drum of things that don't feel good and not utilizing the guidance within you that lets you know the vibrational relationship between you and you. Well, we believe that we have done a very good sales job today. Actually, we know we have done an extremely good sales job today. How much of it you heard is up to you. In other words, how close you are to understanding the power and the perfection of your constantly, eternally, never-ending, evolving being is really up to you.